Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make pumpkin puree. Yeah, now I know what you're saying. Yes, you could just go to the store and buy a can of it. Yeah, you sure could. However, why would you do that when you can have a delicious homemade pumpkin puree for very easy to make? So it's very simple. The first thing is you want to choose the right pumpkin. Now, when you go to the store and you look for pumpkins, you're not going to want to grab the big ones that say for carving or for jack-o'-lanterns. You could, but the flavor isn't going to be as good as if you use something small. You want to use a smaller pumpkin, and it's usually called a sugar pumpkin, or it might say for making pumpkin puree. Those are your best choices. Again, not to say you can't use the other ones, but I can't guarantee how your flavor is going to turn out. So you'll know if you're just randomly looking and getting pumpkins off the shelf, if it doesn't say that, there's some things that you can look for in the pumpkin to make sure that you're buying the right type. So you want to look for ones that are, of course, small like this, and we're going to cut it open and we're going to see. So you want to look for ones that have a darker flesh. So let's cut it open and see how these guys look. I can see that this is sort of middle of the ground. So what I mean by that is that the flesh is not dark like the inside, but some of it is of a darker color. So this is not the best pumpkin to use, but we're going to try, and with our ingredients we might be able to flavor it up enough that it is going to taste very spicy and flavorful. When you're cutting your pumpkin as well, as much as possible, try to cut in the center. As you see, I was a little bit off. You cannot cut through the stem. So I made a cut off to the side there. It'll be easier for yourself if you can try to get it as close to the center as possible. So once we have our pumpkin, then we're just going to scrape out all of the seeds. And, of course, I'm going to save the seeds for making pumpkin seeds later. So you could just use a spoon. And then, once you've done that with all the pumpkin pieces you're going to be using, just put it flesh side down, skin side up, on a parchment-lined baking sheet. Just for comparison, I want to show you what the two side by side look like. You can see the slight difference on the one on the left versus the one on the right. How this has a little bit of a darker flesh in it. Okay, the pumpkin's ready to go. We're just going to stick it in the oven at 350, and it'll be done when you can stick a fork easily through the skin of the pumpkin. I let the pumpkin cook in the oven for about an hour, so let's pull it out of the oven and see how it's doing. Skins are very soft, so I'm guessing that the pumpkin is ready to be removed. So carefully, they're gonna be hot, so take some gloves and flip them over. And we're going to scoop out all of the pumpkin inside except for the stringy parts in the middle. So that we're going to remove. We don't need that. We're not going to use that in our puree. But all of the rest of this, see how lovely and easy that comes out? And we're going to transfer it to a blender. If you get any seeds along the way, toss them away because you don't want, the seeds won't crush up very well in your puree. That's nice looking pumpkin inside. It's so smooth, not a lot of stringy parts in there. This looks like it might be a very tasty pumpkin. We're going to continue to do that with all of our pumpkin pieces. Just get the pumpkin puree out of there and then put them either in a bowl to cool or the blender, but don't do anything until it cools off. We are not going to blend that until it cools off a bit. You should never be blending anything hot in your blender because it might explode on you. I just finished blending it up, so let's see how it looks. Beautiful deep color and nice and smooth. I think this will make an excellent puree. Really?